The blood drained from my face as my nephew's words echoed across the birthday party. "Grandma told me you're not really family." The laughter that followed hit like a physical blow. My sister's snort, my cousin's clap, my parents' amused smirks. My vision tunneled to Tyler's designer sneakers, the ones I knew he couldn't afford, standing in grass I'd helped pay to landscape. My name is Jonathan. I'm 32 and a financial analyst. This is the story of how I taught my family what not really family actually means. The irony wasn't lost on me as I stood there smiling like it was all a joke. For 2 years, I'd been quietly funding Tyler's private school tuition, $28,000 annually that I transferred without fanfare, without thanks, without even acknowledgement. The kid who just told a party full of relatives I wasn't family had never paid for a single textbook himself. I excused myself early, claiming a headache nobody bothered to question. Back at my downtown apartment, I poured a whiskey and opened my laptop. 3 clicks later, Tyler's education fund was frozen solid. The account that held another $42,000 for his remaining semesters now showed a big red "Access Suspended" across the screen. My phone started buzzing at 5 minutes to 9 a.m. the next morning. 22 missed calls from Marlene, all before 9 a.m. When I finally answered, her voice was pure panic. "You're heartless. How could you punish a kid for something Grandma said?" "Tell Grandma thanks for the heads up," I replied, then hung up. The text started immediately. "Mom said we need to talk. What you did was unnecessary. Dad said call your mother. Marlene again said he's just a teenager. You're destroying his future over a joke." Joke. They kept calling it a joke. Funny how none of them thought it was a joke when I was covering their mortgage payment last Christmas, or when I bailed out Dad's medical bills, or when I quietly handled the family financial emergencies they'd conveniently forgotten about. By Monday, the panic reached full throttle. Marlene's voicemails grew increasingly desperate. 9 minutes of guilt, rage, and bargaining. She claimed Tyler was just repeating something, and that I should be the bigger person. But I'd seen his face when he said it. He'd looked me dead in the eye and meant every word. Tuesday brought the email I'd been expecting. Subject line was urgent, Tyler's tuition crisis. Marlene had discovered they had no backup funding, no emergency account, no plan B. The private school didn't offer mid-year scholarships. Tyler's academic future hung in the balance because of my personal grudge. That's when I went deeper. I logged into every account I'd been helping with for years. The utility payments, cell phone bills, even the car loan on their SUV that I'd helped refinance. I didn't cancel anything. I just let the automatic payments lapse. Let the overdue notices start arriving. Let them feel what life looked like without their invisible safety net. Wednesday morning, Dad called, voice tight with controlled anger. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" "Do you pay those bills?" I asked. Silence. "I've been paying them for 5 years, since you hurt your back and couldn't work, since you started falling behind and nobody else stepped up." I paused. "Do you think Tyler should apologize?" He hung up without answering. By Thursday, word had spread to the extended family. My Aunt Linda called that evening, her voice unusually serious. "I heard what happened at the party. You've been funding their lives while they mock you behind your back. They should be begging for forgiveness." Friday brought the first crack in their united front. My cousin Leo, who'd made millions in tech, called to say he'd been waiting years for you to stop letting them treat you like an ATM. Saturday, Mom sent a group text saying we need to talk as a family, then another saying your father can't sleep. His blood pressure is up. You're upsetting everyone. Still no mention of Tyler's comment. No accountability. Just emotional manipulation designed to reel me back in like always. That afternoon, I got the call I'd been waiting for. Tyler's school, politely inquiring whether I'd continue funding his education or if they should offer his spot to a waitlisted student. The woman's tone was professionally neutral, but I caught the subtext. She'd seen families run out of money before. I didn't call back. Sunday evening, Marlene appeared outside my apartment building, having gotten my address from Mom's emergency contact list. She buzzed my phone with increasingly frantic texts. "Can we talk like adults? You're ruining his life over something he heard from Grandma. You're punishing a kid because you're bitter. Bitter." As if I hadn't sacrificed vacations, postponed my own life, Canceled trips to Italy when her car broke down and she needed $2,000 overnight, as if I hadn't been the invisible foundation holding up their comfortable lives for years. I watched from my window as she paced outside for 20 minutes, then left. Monday brought a group chat explosion. Mom, Dad, Marlene, and now Grandma herself lecturing about how family sticks together and money should never come between blood. Not one word about what Tyler had said. Not a syllable of acknowledgement. That night, I accessed the credit union account Dad had asked me to manage years ago during his recovery. Joint account holder, my name, my access, $6,000 of my own money, quiet deposits made over years of helping out, money they'd probably forgotten existed. I transferred every cent out. By Tuesday morning, the desperation was palpable. Dad's text said, "Call me. We need to fix this. You've made your point." 10 minutes later, Marlene sent a screenshot of Tyler's withdrawal paperwork from school. The silence that followed was telling. No calls, no texts, nothing. But I knew my family. When they go quiet, they're regrouping. Wednesday afternoon, the school's main office called from a different line than usual. The voicemail made me listen twice. Tyler's disciplinary office reporting that Tyler had been caught cheating on a midterm exam. Multiple students had come forward with evidence. An expulsion hearing was scheduled for the following week. I forwarded the voicemail to Marlene without comment. 3 minutes later, she called, her voice hollow. "He would never do that. The school is retaliating because of the payment delay. This is your fault." I hung up. When Mom called 5 minutes later saying I needed to help him, I asked one simple question. "Do you still think I'm not really part of this family?" Silence. Then she hung up too. Thursday brought the nuclear option. Uncle Ray called first, then drove over to my apartment that evening with beer and the family bombshell. Grandpa had decided to rewrite his will. Everything was going to me. House, cash, lake property, not a dime to anyone else. "I told them you're getting everything," Ray reported with obvious satisfaction. Then I told them they could cry about it in the dark. Friday's group chat was pure chaos. Begging from Marlene, backpedaling from Mom, desperate damage control from Dad. Grandpa himself joined in, delivering the crushing blow. "Get on your knees and beg him. You treated John like a servant while mocking him behind his back. Now you want him back? Funny how that works." The photo Marlene sent that evening showed Tyler with his head in his hands at their kitchen table. "He's devastated. Please, John, can we start over?" Too little. Too late. The final group message came from Mom. "We didn't mean to hurt you, but we can't lose everything over one misunderstanding." Grandpa shut it down immediately. "You can't lose everything? John already did. His respect, his dignity, his place in this family. You just didn't notice because you were too busy laughing." Saturday brought desperate Facebook posts from Marlene. Old childhood photos with captions like, "Family is forever." Sunday brought a formal email from Mom titled Olive Branch, clearly written with help, listing my sacrifices and calling me the backbone of the family. I didn't respond to any of it. Sunday dinner happened without me. Grandpa skipped it too. When they begged him to reconsider the will, he told them, "You treated John like an outsider for years. Now he owns the inside." 2 weeks later, Tyler's expulsion hearing concluded with a 1-semester suspension and mandatory transfer to public school. Marlene's final private message sits in my phone, which I opened once. "I know you'll never forgive us, but Tyler's learned his lesson. We all have. The door is always open." I deleted it without responding. 3 months after that birthday party, Grandpa's lawyer called to confirm the will had been legally executed and filed. My parents' mortgage went into foreclosure. Marlene moved back in with them. Tyler finished his junior year at the local public high school, working weekends at a grocery store to help with family expenses. Because here's the thing about family. Once they show you what you really mean to them, you can't unsee it. The laughter at that birthday party wasn't shock or surprise. It was relief. Relief that someone finally said out loud what they'd all been thinking. I'm not angry anymore. Anger requires caring about their opinion. I'm done pretending that blood means anything when it flows only one direction. The family I thought I had never existed. I just spent years funding the illusion. Before you go, here's a quick bonus for sticking around. If you love learning and growing like I do, you need to try audiobooks. I've got an exclusive deal with Audible. Your first month is completely free. That's access to over 500,000 titles, zero cost to you. All the details are waiting in the description. Don't miss this one.